Hello and welcome to mine and Shaun's presentation on Skill Acquisition Program Effective Goal Scoring. Skill and Learner Profile. Now, the objective of this presentation is to show how to coach a defender to be an effective goal scorer. Now, kicking a football appears simple. However, when striking a goal, there are subtle differences in execution relating to head, body, leg and foot position, running pace, interceptions, speed of ball, external focus, etc. Jack is a defender with competent intermediate shooting skills. He's motivated to improve and has a good fitness and strength profile. He's played football for 15 years and is reasonably proficient at dribbling, and he's a good header of the ball. His coach believes that he will be a good striker or attacking midfielder, but before he puts him in the position, he needs him to improve his shooting ability, which is currently the weakest element of his performance. Assessment of learning. Learning is assessed by applying a three-stage model which is divided into cognitive, associative, and autonomous stages. The cognitive stage relates to basic competencies of ball control and understanding patterns of play. The aim is for Jack to improve the execution of these aspects progressively. Ball control is the foundation for achieving the most suitable position prior to striking the ball. The associative stage relates to the refinement of a ball skill, execution, and technique by applying them to the increasingly complex environment. When Jack's goal-scoring attempts are consistent in technique and well executed, he will be nearing the autonomous stage. If he is able to replicate these skills in games over the course of the season, we are able to conclude that learning has taken place and he is skilled. Scheduling. Movement variety is important for learning, and the drills are designed to strengthen the recall schema by progressively modifying the environment and the challenging motor response until the desired movement is achieved. The sensory consequences of scoring a goal are also the focus for the coach. Week 1 is block practice, so Jack can familiarise himself with core drills and basic movement patterns of shooting. Given his intermediate ability, weeks 2 to 4 is randomised with variation in execution time, rest periods, type of drill, and timing. Variable practice has greater retention and transfer from practice to a game setting and is more stimulating. Contextual interference effect is greater during randomization and results in higher retention and a transfer of skills in a game setting. Distributed practice, managing fatigue, higher engagement, reinforcing schema, etc. This is the scheduled training program for the next 4 weeks. These are the core drills that will be used at the start of every session. Part practice segmentation. Careful consideration of Jack's ability, the task, and the environment assist the coach in designing practice drills and progressions to achieve goal-scoring proficiency. Focus on speed and accuracy with both feet require part practice of core drills. Naylor and Briggs' model suggests that the task with high complexity and the task organization is best coached by the part practice method. The core drills can be segmented into part whole method to assess foot position on and off the ball, leg stance, torso movement, arm position for balance, and visual focus. This method, whereby components of whole task are practiced prior to the whole task itself, has been shown to increase learning and retention. Skills developed in the core drills translate to the 4 progressive drills, which have lower complexity and high organization requirements. These are best practice as whole, and the environment is gradually manipulated to incorporate additional factors: defenders, goalkeepers, teammates, speed and direction of the ball. Week 1. So week 1 we began with a top-down approach to coaching, where we would give everything, tell Jack exactly what he needed to do, without much of him thinking for himself, just so he knew the skill. We broke down the skill that was practiced into different segments: the foot placement, shoulder position, trunk position, very little environmental constraints. Stationary and dribbling to shoot was the main focus of week 1. Lots of repetition. So along with the core drills, the running to score drill, as you can see at the bottom here, where the player runs with the ball and has a shot, an attempt on goal with a goalkeeper in the net, as you can see in the video. Transfer of learning. Given Jack's prior ability as a footballer, he is quite proficient at the basic skills required to kick the ball. Being a defender, however, he is going to be better at achieving a kick with a greater distance and height, like a clearance in a game, rather than a low-driven shot. However, Jack will require less coaching to develop this skill. This is because the skill of shooting deals with similar techniques to that of a clearance. This is known as a transferable skill. This is also applicable when trying to transfer these skills learned into training to a game. According to the study about this skill transfer in young footballers, the more game-like the drills, the more transferable the skills that the player is practicing become in the game situation. Week 2. Still coaching with somewhat of a top-down method, as he's still getting used to the new skill and learning it. Increased constraints. Jack is required to score in the corners of the goal, rather than just in the middle. Along with stationary shooting, we induce striking a ball that is passed towards the player, so he has to run onto it, as we can see here in the video.
And go.
Week 3. Dynamic coaching methods are bottom up now, so we're letting Jack take a bit more control, so he's sort of understanding it himself now, so he's able to come up with his own solutions to his problems. Introduction of game-like environments using a defender now, so that he's having to get a bit of space off the defender to score. This will also allow Jack to retrain his response time, so he's responding to something, how quickly he can respond to the defender's movements, as we can see here in the vid. Response time. As the number of alternatives increase, the amount of time required to prepare the appropriate movement also increases. We introduced this concept in week 4 when the environment is more complex with a goalkeeper, a defender, and 2 attackers. The defender needs to anticipate which attacker will receive the ball from the coach, whilst the goalkeeper needs to anticipate whether the attacker will shoot or pass to the supporting attacker. The coach can really emphasize the impact of the psychological refractory period when responding to one's actions. And then another can slow down the response of the defender, which allows more time on the ball to create space prior to shooting. Examples including faking strikers, using step-overs, and dropping one shoulder whilst moving in the opposite direction. The coach can also emphasize the relevance of a 4-period consistency and encourage Jack to vary the time in possession when he passes the ball or when he shoots. This will assist Jack to create space before striking the ball and minimize temporal anticipation by the goalkeeper. Week 4. Week 4, of course, we're going with a very full-on dynamic coaching method with the bottom up, letting Jack solve his own problems. Also, very much game-like conditions with greater environmental constraints. So now we've got the goalkeeper, we've got a defender, we've also got an assisting player. So now he's got the option to pass or to shoot. So that's going to help him in terms of his response time and stuff like that. And the manipulation of the defender and goalkeeper response times to create uncertainty and enhance position in the time for striking the ball. So he's having to make a decision now whether to pass or whether to shoot, like if it was in a real game situation. As we can see in the drill on the right here. Feedback. As Jack is learning to improve his shooting skills, a combination of augmented and intrinsic feedback is important. Augmented feedback focuses on error correction, motivation, and reinforcement by the coach. In week 4, Jack is asked to strike 3 balls, and after the first strike, the coach stops him and asks questions to elicit feedback. Intrinsic feedback focuses on the senses, and the most important for Jack are vision and proprioception. An example of descriptive would be telling the error versus prescriptive, which is telling the error and how to correct it. Research suggests that the overly prescriptive approach to instruction and feedback can negatively impact learning, and less prescriptive approach is recommended. Summary feedback is most appropriate for Jack given his skill level. This involves providing feedback at the end of the drill and asking him questions about his performance. This encourages active learning by problem solving and enhances performance awareness as reflects on each drill. Results of the program. Ability to shoot and hit the target is more consistent for Jack now. He's increased his ability to create space and score in a 1v1 situation. Response time has decreased, and he can react faster when deciding to shoot or pass the ball, which can be effective in a game situation. The amount of feedback from the coach has decreased due to Jack's knowledge and retention increasing. Adaptability to ball and player movement has increased, and Jack is now better equipped to play as an attacker in his team.